On today's episode, we have a 5-year-old Lotus and a brand new TVR that looks exactly the same. Your dad probably bought the TVR Tasmin in 1980, thinking about modern British engineering with wedge styling, fresh from the factory, cutting edge. Or maybe your dad bought the Lotus Eclat, thinking about proven Lotus performance. 5 years old, but still selling. Same designer drew both cars. Same wedge shape. Same angular greenhouse. One had Colin Chapman's engineering. The other looked like Frankenstein's monster underneath. Which one is the better car? This is 4 Wheels and Fuel, Season 4, Episode 9. Let's find out. Lotus Eclat. It's October 1975 and Lotus has a problem. The Elite shooting brake is selling nicely, but buyers keep asking for something sportier. Something with a proper fastback. Something that looks fast, standing still. Oliver Winterbottom, Lotus's design manager, already has the solution. He'd been sketching a fastback version of the Elite for months. Same front end, same platform, but with a sloping roofline that melts into a proper hatchback tail. Sharp edges everywhere, aggressive wedge profile, angular greenhouse. It looks like someone folded a piece of paper into a sports car and forgot to unfold it. Colin Chapman approves the design immediately and gives Winterbottom everything he needs. The Lotus backbone chassis that Chapman himself engineered. Proper Lotus suspension. The setup that made every Lotus handle like it could read your mind. Not borrowed from Ford, not lifted from a saloon. Chapman's own engineering. Under the bonnet goes the Lotus 907 engine. A 2-litre twin-cam inline-4 making 160 brake horsepower and 190 Newton-meters of torque. The same engine Lotus would later develop for the Esprit. Proper Lotus engineering. Double overhead cams, aluminium construction. Smooth, responsive, sophisticated. Not exciting on paper, but brilliant on the road. The Eclat launches in October 1975 as a 2+2 fastback coupe. It's positioned as the sportier alternative to the Elite. 5 trim levels, ranging from the basic 520 with a 4-speed gearbox to the top 524 with air conditioning and automatic transmission. Prices start at £6,500 and climb to £8,000 for the fully loaded version. The motoring press loves it. They praise the handling, the grip, the way it flows through corners like water. The suspension is typically Lotus, firm but controlled, nimble but stable. The car weighs just 1,043 kilograms, which means the 160 brake horsepower feels like plenty. 0 to 60 takes about 7.8 seconds, and top speed is 120 miles per hour. Not supercar numbers, but more than adequate for a practical 2+2 fastback. Production runs from 1975 to 1982, and Lotus builds approximately 1,500 examples. Steady sales throughout, no disasters, no recalls, no catastrophic failures. Just a solid, well-engineered sports car that does exactly what it promises. The backbone chassis occasionally rusts where felt strips trap water, but that's fixable. The engines are fragile if neglected, but brilliant if maintained. The Eclat proves Winterbottom and Chapman make a perfect team. Winterbottom's sharp wedge styling, combined with Chapman's sophisticated engineering, creates something that works. Not just looks good, but actually drives properly. Then, Chapman makes a catastrophic mistake. He takes Winterbottom off cars and puts him on boats. TVR Tasmin. It's 1975. Colin Chapman decides Oliver Winterbottom's time designing brilliant sports cars is over. Chapman has a boat company, JCL Marine, and needs someone to design luxury boats. Winterbottom gets transferred from cars to boats, whether he likes it or not. Winterbottom designs the JCL Mamba and JCL Mistral. He finds it interesting at first, but this isn't why he became a car designer. Then, in 1977, Chapman and Winterbottom have a disagreement over dimensional matters on the Mamba boat design. Winterbottom leaves Lotus. After a year as a freelance consultant, TVR hires him in 1978 as chief engineer. Martin Lilly, TVR's boss, gives Winterbottom carte blanche. Design our new sports car, make it modern, make it competitive. Winterbottom already knows exactly what he's going to draw. The wedge he perfected at Lotus. Sharp edges, angular greenhouse, fastback profile, just with different badges this time. January 1980, Brussels Motor Show. TVR unveils the Tasmin, and it looks suspiciously familiar. If you put an Eclat and a Tasmin side by side, you'd struggle to spot which designer drew which, because Winterbottom drew both. His revenge on Chapman. Look, Colin, I can design wedges without you. Except there's one catastrophic problem. Winterbottom forgot to bring Chapman's engineering with him. Under the pretty wedge body sits Frankenstein's monster. Ford Cortina suspension at the front, Ford Granada brakes, Jaguar differential at the rear, British Leyland Princess steering column and stalks, Ford Capri door handles and rear lights, gearboxes from the Cortina, Granada and Sierra depending on which version you ordered. The 2.8-litre Ford Cologne V6 makes 160 brake horsepower, identical to the Eclat, but it's lifted straight from the Capri 2.8i. Decent engine, but hardly exotic. The car weighs 1,050 kilograms and manages 0 to 60 in about 7 seconds with a top speed of 130 miles per hour. On paper, slightly quicker than the 5-year-old Eclat. On the road, it's a disaster. The suspension has catastrophic bump steer problems. Turn the wheel over rough roads and the car steers itself unpredictably. TVR has to redesign the front suspension for Series 2 in 1981, switching the tie rods from compression mode back to tension mode like Ford originally intended. Apparently, copying Ford parts requires understanding how Ford parts work. Sales are catastrophic. TVR builds just 121 Tasmins in 1982. The company heads toward administration. Martin Lilly can't pay the bills. Peter Wheeler, a TVR customer with money, has to rescue the company in 1981 before it collapses completely. Meanwhile, the 5-year-old Eclat keeps selling steadily. Winterbottom's design with Chapman's engineering versus Winterbottom's design with Ford's parts bin. Chapman's engineering wins. Winterbottom's revenge plan? Copy your own successful design, remove everything that made it work, nearly kill your new employer, prove your old boss right. Two wedge-shaped fastbacks from the same designer. The 5-year-old Eclat with Chapman's engineering kept selling steadily through 1982. The brand new Tasmin with Ford's parts bin built 121 units in 1982 and nearly bankrupted TVR. Turns out, copying your own design without the engineering that made it brilliant proves nothing except your old boss was right. Oliver Winterbottom's revenge backfired spectacularly. Chapman kept building Eclats. TVR nearly died. If you enjoyed this episode, hit that subscribe button and tell us which British sports car your dad bought in the 80s. If you want to support the channel, you can buy us a coffee. Link is in the description. And on that bombshell, this is 4 Wheels and Fuel Season 4, Episode 9. See you next time.